I think it's 1KZ week here at the Prado Hospital, 4x4 diesel. I'm doing an inspection on this vehicle for John. He's picked it up for his daughter and done a bit of work on it and just wanted to get it checked out before he hands it over to her. And lucky he did, I guess. We've talked about a few things I've found. I've fixed up a couple of things, but I'm just going to quickly run through. This video is mainly for him so that he can remember all the things that need to be fixed up and whatever. So we'll cover under the bonnet first, try and keep it under a few minutes, and then we'll have a look underneath the vehicle and probably find the usual stuff. Under the bonnet, it's always different vehicle to vehicle. Underneath, it's wear and tear. It's usually the same sort of thing. Check the service inspection playlist to work out on averages what you're going to need underneath the vehicle. And if you haven't already, it doesn't cost you anything to subscribe and turn the bell on. So why don't you bada bing, go ahead and do that. And always talk to me in the comments, let me know what's going on. Put a few questions. Doesn't mean you're going to get an answer there, but it gives me ideas for the next video. And when I see enough of the same thing, then that's what I'm going to look at. So just quickly, brake fluid looks low. So I'd be looking at the brakes and the braking system, making sure there's no leaks or there's some worn brake pads. One of the first things I noticed, let's not go to the new battery and the electrical yet. It's not too bad, but the intercooler, it's not sitting flat. Okay, so if we come around and have a look at this side on a 1KZ, see the intercooler is not in properly. So those clamps, they actually clip open. You can clip them open, make sure you push the intercooler down properly. The mounting bolt is around the back corner there. And at the front, we'll just go to the vehicle over here next to us and show you what it's meant to look like. This is the very clean one, and that's what it's meant to look like, sitting flush all the way down. Next problem is the wiring loom on the main loom that goes over the valve cover. You can see you need to have a bit of clearance so they don't rub on the valve cover. There's a clip there, there's another clip here. This loom's on the wrong side of the power steering pump, so 3 bolts, 2 at the front. Pump needs to come off, wiring loom needs to go that side of the bracket, and then this clip will clip on to that bracket down there, middle of the picture. That's one of the first things we clipped on. There was the other one was off as well. This one down here was off. The loom was jammed in this gap here. This one here, as usual, they're broken. Might want a new one of those. Pretty obvious on Toyotas. It clips on where the white mark is, so get that all clipped back on. Down here, same thing. That clip there is meant to clip this wiring loom, so there's a black clip that's missing off the loom. Off to Toyota you go. Loosen this bolt, straighten this bracket out a little bit, replace the clip, pop it in the hole, because all the wiring loom needs to be secured properly where it's meant to go. There's another one a bit further down as well. See this big black clip down here, and it's meant to go on the loom just down behind all the hoses. A little bit hard to see, but there's another bracket there. So it's pretty straightforward. You just follow the looms, look where the clips are, and you're either going to find somewhere to clip it, or if this is missing, then you're going to need to replace those clip clamp things. Genuine Toyotas the go. Just do it factory the way it's meant to be. Next thing, fuel pipes. You can see down there, there's 4 fuel pipes. And a bit like this black one here, it's meant to have black plastic clipping those in place so they're not rubbing together. You can see they're looking pretty average rubbing together there. And that certainly won't last forever the way it is. Again, let's have a look at the other vehicle to see how it's meant to be. Over here, down the bottom there in the middle of the picture, you can see those black, the black clamp that I'm talking about. So off to Toyota parts for one of those, or to the wreckers maybe. Wreckers might have stuff like that. And you can see it keeps the pipes from rubbing on each other, and I would carefully have a look at those, because if people have worked on it, sometimes it can end up, they've bent them, doing injectors, replacing injectors, stuff like that. And after you can slightly, you shouldn't bend pipes. You can rework them a little bit out of the way to do the injectors, or completely remove them, but you got to really put them back how they were and make sure they're not rubbing. Over here, the way some of these clips and clamps go, configuration, you can see that wiring loom there. The way, I'll just hold it still for a minute so you can sort of get a picture of what's going on with that wiring loom. Hard to get in there and see really. That one, that's where that one clips in down under there with that wiring loom. If you don't have the wiring loom sitting in the clamps properly, then this will sit tight over the valve cover and rub on it. You can add a bit, I don't mind adding a bit large heater hose and a couple of zip ties to extra protection. But if you adjust the wiring loom, it'll solve the problem. It just normally sits with a bit of clearance underneath it. So check that if you've got a 1KZ. What else? A note for the auto electricians. The SBI is awesome. I like that. Tech screws into the guard. Well, it's secure for now, but I don't know how long that's going to last. Nuts and bolts, please. Nylock nuts. Just use stainless. Do it right. Don't just put tech screws in. And with your wiring, I would suggest instead of just being lazy, shortest route possible, straight across, might as well just about put it straight across the top of the engine to the battery. Instead of being lazy and putting it here right in the way of when you want to remove everything, we've got to disconnect and remove all that stuff each time. What you can do, you can neatly run this wire round underneath, down below all this, around here, come up here to this wiring loom, underneath the plastic trim where the factory wiring loom goes and comes back out here, around the battery and just direct on it. You won't even see it. It's beautiful. It's not in the way of anything, and we don't have this big wire hanging out in the middle of things. So I just find that really annoying. Someone's paid money to have this done. You can see it's a new battery and bracket and all the work's done. And hopefully they've got good crimps and all that sort of thing going on. You know, we're not sure. I'm just saying, from what I see, very lazy. So there's one, send that to your auto electrician. Bit lazy. There's better ways to do it when people spend money to get a job done right. They probably could have done it themselves and done a better job than that. People are wondering why the head's green. Well, normally when you paint something, the head's red because red makes it go faster. But in this case, green makes it more environmentally friendly. Well, not quite. I don't know why they painted it green and they painted everything. Maybe it would be a little bit harder to work on lately. I don't think it's a big deal, but I probably wouldn't bother with the green paint. It's just because the head's been done. On the 1KZs, I wouldn't say it's a common problem, but every engine's got its issues and they can do heads. So keep your cooling system in 110% Mickey Mouse condition. Clean, clear radiators, condensers, airflow, things not blocking the airflow. Coolant nice and clean, where that leads me to this. The color of this tank doesn't look anything like the ones you'd normally see here, so that would need a good clean out, so hopefully you can see what's going on. Put it in the comments what you'd clean this out with, and some nice clean coolant. And you know, probably if this was my vehicle and I was keeping it, I'd do a coolant change every year to just help clean and flush it out. It's all about making it better. It's been sent to the wreckers over the years, hasn't maybe been that well looked after. It's had all this work done. It's a bit rough around the edges with all the wiring. We want to make things better, so that means more oil changes, more coolant changes, more checking and fixing and constantly cleaning, fixing and checking to keep it reliable. If it's clean, we can see what's going on. All right, we're halfway up on the hoist. I see, nice. I like these tyres. You put these on, they're pretty fresh. Beautiful. Cardboard. Haven't seen that before. Cardboard for the or whatever. I just get rid of that completely, like the one at the front. Then you can get in and have a look and check and look at your alternator and your belts, and someone at the other side shining a light at me. I reckon it needs some bloody screws on this mud flap. So that's actually broken because from memory there's a mounting one that goes underneath there. Plus this whole front's ripped off. Yeah, this is a goner, mate. This needs full replacement. Because yeah, all the mounting's gone. You just got that one underneath clip. There's a little underneath here somewhere. That's all it's holding it, one. It's just hanging there. I reckon we might just take that off and get rid of it, because before it ends up causing problems, eh? Full inspection. No mucking around. We'll see what we can find on this car. I don't know what's living in there. Needs a good amount of water to flush all that out, get all that cleaned out. These rubber's 20 years old. 2005? Yeah, so 20 years old, this car. So it's done a lot of towing with the amount of times they've reversed the car into the trailer to hook it up. Isn't anyone like me and you just sort of take it slow and you get someone to guide you back, or you look at your camera, even if you haven't got one? I've never done that I know of. I stop and I'll either pull the trailer, I'll get in and out 2 or 3 times and reverse up till it's in the right spot. Crazy. Same over this side. There's a lot of cobwebs and whatever it is in there. I'll be just getting heaps of water and giving that a really good flush out. Cleaning, you can respray. You just buy it at super cheap. This, you know, rust prevention coating, body deadening type. There's a few different various products. You can see it just flakes away when it gets old and that. I'm, you know, not going to pull it off. But yeah, the loose bits you might as well pull off. I'm not worried about it. You don't need it, but you know, give it a bit more of a spray. You can just even paint it. Clean it first, obviously, and just keep it all like that. It helps protect the vehicle. Bit of paint on the chassis, although the chassis is looking good. I'm not going to say any saltwater damage here at this stage. This is what a mud flap should look like. This is the other side of the vehicle. So there's a mounting screw up underneath, and you've got that one there and that one there. And if you're going to go off-road, I highly recommend adding a body washer at least to that one on the inside there, because they get, you know, caught up and pulled on, and it just gives it a lot more strength from ripping that plastic off. Yeah, I don't know, that's what I do anyway. Got the rubber here at this side, not needed. When it gets old, get rid of it. Some clips missing under here, so that needs a bit of a, you just get them from Toyota, the plastic ones. What do they look like? They're the same as these ones here, and you can actually put a screw into the middle of them, this type of screw, a coarse thread. So you pop it in there, that's what holds it in, but with that amount of pressure, it might not hold it in too well. So you get these screws as well, and put it into those, and it gives them, see how that's kind of a bit loose, and anyway, it gives it it tightens it up. It pushes the inside, I haven't got one on hand, but it pushes the inside of that clip out by putting the screw into it, makes it stronger. So it's kind of like for added accessories, but yeah, the rubber can stay there till it goes, and then you can get in here and have a look and do a good inspection, see what's looking around, what's not right. All right, let's look underneath it. There's the other end of those tech screws from that battery install. Like I said, they're okay. It'll probably be fine, but I just reckon you could put in a little bit more effort and put some nuts and bolts. The old original lights they put on these bull bars. I think these bull bars were made in Australia for the Australian cars, and you know, that's what they come up with. That's the best they could do. They reused these lights from the bumper bar and added on these like an old trailer light or something. Terrible. The good news is underneath it's had a radiator, so as part of the head fix up, which we're hoping they did a reasonable job, they put a new radiator in it, so beautiful. Let's have a bit of a look around, make sure there's nothing rubbing out. You got to check those holes, make sure it hasn't got the old bits of steel from other bull bars or these bull bars, or it should probably be on there for this bull bar anyway, but it's not. See the bolt missing there, whatever, but at least the bits aren't there rubbing on the radiator. So technically I've got something on the shelf that you're going to probably want, I reckon. So I'll explain that in a minute. It's in other videos. A couple of bolts missing as well. You know, a couple here, couple there, you know. But there's one, hey, there's one holding it. And three at that side, but there's one, two, technically a few bolts missing anyway. So we can count those later. What do you got here, mate? What do you got? What do you got?
Loom's in the wrong position.
Oh, it's just hanging around, dangling around.
It's supposed to go behind.
Look at this. Where's the clip for the transmission lines here? Look at them, two transmission lines in the...
And that's...
Oh yeah, that's loose as well. Yeah, the dipstick bolt just sitting there. Yeah, they've just tried to start it and it's sort of cross-threaded, and they went, oh, I can't get. I'll get to that later. Yeah, so that's loose. But look, transmission lines right here. Look, no clamp.
That holds it.
Right. So is that the only three things we've got here? The wiring loom, the dipstick, and the transmission lines.
So far.
Is that it? Yeah, okay. Well, it's time to go on a positive note for a minute. It's got some awesome Dobinson suspension. It's got some brand new, genuine drive shafts, and these bloody tyres look awesome. So, you know, they're three quite expensive and good components in the front. No play in the lower ball joint. That's good. Beautiful. Uppers look all right too. This is a bit of a detailed inspection, this one. Right, we know we're going to see the split bushes there. Not too bad. There's, you know, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Oh, this side's been done. Oh no, it looks clean at this side. What's going on? This side's dirty. This side. It's the matching split here. This is the speed humps one at the front on the brakes. Yeah, that's a bit split, but it's not too bad. It's not imperative, like, you know, you probably take it to the Sunshine Workshop partner and get them to change the bushes, I reckon. Because, you know, if there's no play in the board, it's actually looking pretty good, the arms. Here we've got the bolts pulled through the mud flap. See how those coarse screws split the clips, and that's what holds them in really strong, even those black ones. And those black ones are meant to be on this car as well. Let's come around this side. Up here, that's where those black ones go. And on those flares, I like to put the bolt in. Even though stock standard is just the black clip, I put the bolt in it to hold it tighter because I want my flares to stay there. Here they've added in some tech screws. It's not even sitting quite up in the right spot, but a few tech screws to hold that up. And you got that clip at the back there. But yeah, it would have been better to put that in place. And on that one, I put a body washer on it because they might get ripped a bit if you go off-road, and it rips the plastic here. If you put a body washer on the outside under the head of that coarse bolt, it sort of spreads the load a little bit. Same as what I do at the back here. I do the same thing here. These bars, they can often get, if they get caught up at the back here, underneath. If you go off-road and get caught up here, something like that, it'll rip the plastic, but body washer will just help spread the load and support it a bit better. But looking under here, yeah, there's no rear brakes left. That's probably why the brake fluid's low. It's like cobwebs in there. No one's worked on these brakes for ages, so I'm going to do the LSI thing again. Yep, 100% looking at these rusty old rotors that have been sitting around mainly. I'd say it's been sitting around. There's no pads and rotors left, so you get on the website, lsiauto.com.au, and you order a set of front and rear brake pads, and you just do the whole lot, then the brakes are done. That's what I've done on all my cars. Discount code, same as this YouTube channel, 4B4 Diesel, and you'll get an extra discount. Look at all the cobwebs and that just sitting. It needs just to come off and have a good clean out. It's nearly metal to metal, the pads. It's like there's nothing. Look at it, it's just rusty old whatever. I don't need to look any further. If I'm going to do the rear, I'm going to do the front. Fuel hose might have been done by the looks of it. Did you give that a squeeze? Yeah. Soft, yeah, beautiful. So we're not going to talk about that. It's in other videos. What's going on here? Wasp nest or something? An old wasp nest could get cleaned out. Other than that, underneath the usual sort of Toyota Prado, bloody awesome. It's a 1KZ, so the fuel filter's not there, not required. Same as the V6, not there. What do you reckon? Anything else you're saying? Looks pretty, what, is the sump been off? Yeah, that, correct, yeah. So they've done, it's like they've done an engine rebuild or something, or maybe they just pulled the sump off for, I don't know. Who knows? We don't really know what they've really done. Yeah, the sump up here's been off as well, not just the sub-assembly. So, transmission pan, that's been off as well. Looks like a relatively new gasket. Is that a genuine? That's aftermarket. Is the genuine's black? It's got a bit of
cork.
Yeah, it's got a bit of yeah, Repco. Oh, you did that? Yeah.
24 hours ago.
Oh yeah, cool. So that was the most recent job. Beautiful. Oh, looks all right. Other than everything we've mentioned, so a bit of tidying up and a few bits and pieces. And auto electricians need a kick in the you know what. Not too bad, you know, but could be a lot better. With a little bit more effort, it could be a lot better. So when you do your diff oil changes, make sure you use a bit of brake cleaner and rags and give these a good clean up so it doesn't look like you've got an oil leak, because that looks like you've got an oil leak starting, just sort of sitting there. So we're just going to check it by hand, but the key thing is clean it so you can monitor the situation. It's good the bash plate's off. Did you leave it off on purpose, Evelyn? We're being positive. I mean, 20-year-old steering rack, it's hardly got anything of a sweat, and that's why I say to people, if you see that sweat, just don't worry about it. Don't go somewhere that's going to tell you to replace your steering rack, because it's just a waste of time and money. The next one's going to do the same thing, and if you put aftermarket, it's going to be a lot worse and it will need replacing. So just stick with the genuine and leave it there, and happy days. These are the condition of the front rotors, which is why I said, you know what, just order a whole new set. Brakes is safety, do it once. They last a bloody long time and they're pretty cheap considering. Might as well have them working right. And of course, new brake fluid, a good bleed out, because it does look about 10 years old in terrible condition as well, which is why the brakes probably don't work the best compared to what they should.